Welcome to A Gallen of Questions. I am Pat Gallen, and today we're going to talk about art. Our guest is an accomplished local artist who has worked with some of the best athletes in the city of Philadelphia. I mean, I'm talking about important names like Allen Iverson, Brandon Graham, Brian Dawkins, Brad Lidge, who was just in here not that long ago, and now he's going to talk about some of the new collaborations that he's working on. Jordan Spector, Spector Art. Jordan,
what's going on, man?
Good to see you, dude.
On again. Yeah, it's good to be back.
Thanks for coming in. You were here. What was the Lidge stuff? Like almost a year ago?
I think that was it feels like a year, but that was like end of October. I want to say, yeah.
I don't know what. Yeah, I don't even know what I did like yesterday. But that really cool collaboration you did there with Brad Lidge, which I will, I still have it here on this desk. It's beautifully done. Let's talk about, though, the first time that you and I connected was when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, 2018 Super Bowl. You came in and you finished your artwork live on our morning show.
Yeah.
Was that like the first... I'm not saying that was like the first interview you ever did, but that was the first like thing.
It feels like one of the first. I was super nervous and wow, like what am I doing? Yeah, that feels like ages ago. I'd love to show my fiance pictures of that because I don't think I had a beard back then.
I don't think you did.
Scary days, scary times. But
that was so cool though that you were able to come in and finish that.
Yeah, that was cool. That was like such a random project, but it was cool to be able to see what it turned into and then just keep rolling from there. I feel like it's never stopped past 8 years.
Talk about your background. You're a Philly area guy. You went to Temple?
Yeah, went to Temple. I grew up in Willow Grove, went to Temple, then lived downtown for quite a couple years. Mm-hmm. And then, not purposefully, but my two passions of art and football came together now, and that's what I do full time. So I use my art as a way to channel my passion for football and other sports, of course, but football is my number one. And it's definitely a blessing to be able to combine those two and do that for a living.
When did the love of art blossom? Like, how long have you been doing this for?
That just came naturally when I was a kid. My dad's an artist, so it definitely runs in the family.
What kind of art? What is he into?
So my dad, I consider my dad to be one of the most creative individuals that I know. He can sculpt, he can paint, he can draw. He actually went to school for industrial design. Okay. So he taught me a lot of my skills when I was a kid, but the best way to learn is just to practice ultimately, so I'm truly a self-taught artist. I didn't go to school for it. Sure. But I think a lot of artists will tell you that. And school is a great way to amplify that skill that you already harness and build on.
So got the love from dad, obviously. Yep. Is there anyone else though over the years, you're self-taught, but is there anyone else that you've just like kind of focused on to try and, maybe take things here and there, pieces of different artists?
Yeah, so I have quite a few relationships with artists, and I feel like as I've grown vertically in my business and my art, I've leaned into the talents and the inspiration from many other artists as well. There's a great network in Philly, especially of artists, and just a few are Chuck Stiles, Justin Wadlington. Those are like two of my closest artist friends from Philly, and I really met them initially due to my art and putting myself out there and meeting them at a show or at an art venue. But I have so many relationships with amazing artists in Philly, and it's continued from there.
Sports obviously plays a huge role in your life. You played football at Temple, is that right?
Football, yeah. High school, and then I was a walk-on at Temple, and then I got hurt playing, and that's actually what led me back to art when I got hurt and stopped playing.
Did you channel? You said you kind of channeled your energies when you got hurt. Did you fall back on art at that time, or was it still you were?
It wasn't right away, but I quickly felt the need to still channel my passion for the game, and thank God that I had that inner ability to even create art, and that was my way to transition out of playing the sport to still channeling my passion for it. So,
do you remember what was your first piece of art that you felt like I can actually build off of this and make something of it?
Yeah, I mean, there was many stepping stones as I grew my name in the art world, and some of the first ones were guys I worked with on the Temple team who still to this day play in the NFL, like Tyler Medikevich, Hassan Reddick, Deion Dawkins, a lot of guys who made it to that level in their career. And they initially helped me really get my name out there and just leaned into what I was doing and trusted me to create a portrait of them. And but probably the first big Eagles one was of Brian Dawkins, which still to this day is a print we have available on my website.
Sure.
And a portion of all those actually go back to his Impact Foundation as well, of every print that we sell.
That's fantastic.
That was one of my first kind of big hits so many years ago, too. And it's cool what that turned into, having a relationship now with Dawkins and his foundation.
What was it like for you as a young artist creating this piece of, I'm sure, someone you looked up to as a kid? What was the interaction like the first time you met B-Doc?
It was great. It was like everything you would expect. Because building up to that, I had other individuals who knew him who helped me connect with him, and then eventually we made that happen. And I pretty much flew a painting down to Florida to meet him and give this to him. And we spent all this time talking and hanging out. And he actually, I wanted him to just talk about the art. No script, no instructions, just go after it. And he actually said something when he was talking that said that the art has energy. It's art with energy. And to this day, that's actually kind of the slogan to my art and my business, art with energy. So you see that a lot on packaging. You see it a lot on Instagram. So it's cool that not only was he one of my biggest inspirations to play football, but now that quote and that mindset about how my work makes him feel, I carried into my business, so it's pretty cool.
Just leave it to Brian Dawkins to come up with some incredible line.
He'll solve everything.
That guy he's a jack of all trades. Go back to the thing that we talked about at the beginning, the massive mural that you put together with the 2017 Eagles. Where did that idea stem from?
So the initial dream to even do that project, which was truly a dream project, came from Jamie Cooper and his creation that, like I said, hangs in the Diamond Club at the Phillies Stadium. I was like, man, if I could somehow create that of the Eagles, which is my number one team, and that would be an incredible project to put together. And lo and behold, a couple years after those ideas began, Eagles won the Super Bowl, all this, I actually connected with a gentleman who loved my work, had me at a couple events at his house to raise money for a foundation and all this stuff. And we grew this relationship, and he was like, Jordan, I want you to make this incredible piece, blah, blah, blah. And then he started naming players and the concept. I was like, that's exactly what I've dreamt of making. And that guy's name is Rob Shimmick. He's a local guy, huge Eagles fan, really, really, really good person. And he actually came in and commissioned me to make that 15-foot canvas, which took about 2 years to complete.
2 years?
Yeah, 2 years of about half that time just planning and prepping and research of who's going to go in there, why should they go in there, doing fan surveys, all this stuff.
Wow.
And then finally jumping into the actual art part of it and creating this.
Now, when you're saying, 2 years, research and development before you even touch the canvas,
that was a combination of research development and then also making the art.
When you stood in front of it, how often were you going at something like that? How long did it take you to actually put it together?
Hours. If I did it straight through, it probably would have taken 7 or 8 months if I'd done it straight through. But I just, luckily he was so great with the process and trusting my vision, because I really took it to another level. He gave me a list of 10 guys, but I was like, man, I have to make this the greatest thing that I possibly can. So I literally threw in there, it's 41 players and coaches leading up to the Super Bowl team in 2017. Which now, people seeing it for the first time today, they're like, oh, why isn't Jalen Hurts in there and Saquon Barkley? Because it was made in 2021, So, but that was kind of the timeline to it.
So is that the piece that's taken you the longest, I'm assuming?
For sure. Yeah. I still haven't had a project to that scale after that one. And I knew, how much effort it takes. And now it's been so much fun post Super Bowl with all the new projects I've done, but I know in the back of my head, because I keep getting asked that, hey, are you going to make a new one? So the answer to that is
do you have the time to make a new one?
Doesn't feel like it, but it'll eventually happen, and I definitely plan to do that, which will be cool, especially given so many more relationships I have now with players and people down at the Eagles, and so I definitely plan to make a new Eagles legacy piece. Maybe not as many players, but the new era.
41 players and coaches might be a little bit too much, but
I already covered those.
Another special team that certainly deserves, your artwork. How about talking about some more of the players and people, coaches that you've worked with now in recent? It seems like every day you're popping up on Instagram with you're hanging out with Nick Sirianni and you got Big Dom and all these guys. So who have you been working with?
Yeah, so I mean, just over the years, I've built many great relationships, and Dom is definitely one of the biggest. And he's so helpful with everything I'm doing. He loves what I do, and whenever I need to connect with somebody or get something to somebody, especially down at NovaCare, he's super helpful with that.
Sure.
And, just a great guy. And so through him and other relationships, I've had more and more opportunities to connect with these players and coaches. And I actually met Nick Sirianni at the Philly show back in March, which they have 3 shows a year. It's like a big convention memorabilia show. And we started doing this new trading card set, which the goal is to basically capture the entire team that won that championship and do an individual autographed card for each player and coach. And we did our first round of players and coaches at the Philly show, which was 9 guys total. Nick was one of them. Howie was another one. So we have a Howie card. And Nick saw the art. He's like, hey, could I get one of these for my office? It's like, oh yeah, absolutely. So we figured that out, and then Howie's like, I want one, and then I made one to surprise Dom because I know he would love to have one in his office of him. So that led to probably what you're talking about. I was there back in I think April to drop off one to each of them. We took some videos and pics, and I was like, this is epic because these 3 guys really do so much to make this thing happen, and they play a huge role. So it was just cool to.
Do you think 10 years ago, 8 years ago, that you'd be standing at the NovaCare complex with Nick Sirianni and
I would have never thought
Eagles
that.
brass?
No.
How long did it take you to make each of those?
Not too long, because the concept for the card has basically the same background for each piece.
Okay.
So it's easy to kind of do the same background again, but then do a new position or a new coach or whatever it is to go on top of it.
Do you have a preference on, would you rather do a card? Would you rather do something on canvas? What's your...
I just like to switch it up. Past month and a half now, we've been doing a lot of collectible card releases, and soon enough, I'm definitely going to work on a new piece instead of a card. But it's all art in general, so I enjoy the cards because it's a different way to appreciate the art in such a small scale versus a massive mural. So I do both.
So you've got the lane chain on.
I got the lane chain. Each guy that
show us what you're working with here.
Each guy that we've worked with, we give him one of these chain card holders. We actually sell this on our website too at spectorsportsart.com. And the lane one was the most recent. We were at his house in Jersey 10 days ago. And we always do.
Is that where he has the barn? Does he have the bro barn?
The bro barn, yeah. So we filmed in there.
Sick. That's
I had
great.
a couple guys with me, and it fired me up. I felt like I was ready to run through a wall after going in there, but it was really cool, really cool. So we did his card, and this is similar design for each guy. I'll pull out a couple others here.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got. Oop. So
I love the box you carry around too.
Yeah, if you
It's got the nuclear codes inside that thing.
Yeah, I love
awesome.
it. It does feel like top secret. If you go to a card show, a lot of these collector guys have one of these, or even bigger. Mine's kind of small compared to some of these guys' cases.
I love that.
So this is the Dom. This one is actually autographed
Signed by
and inscribed with Big Dom on it.
Look at that thing right there, Big Dom, with his stats on the back.
Yeah, so each one has a fun little description about their contribution to the big win and, his career in general with the Eagles. And
how many of these will you create?
We do 99 of each that are the gold version.
Okay.
And some of them we do an additional version that is a green version.
Okay.
And some of them sell it right away. We do have some Dom left. We have Lane. We have...
Come on, South Philly. Step up and get some Big Dom cards
Step
here.
up before they're gone. You got Nick Sirianni. We have some of those left. Got Nolan Smith, too.
That looks good. Love that. I love the background. The confetti flying. It's beautiful. Nolan Smith, going to be a star, is a star.
Yeah, I think so for sure. So yeah, we've now done 22 players and coaches.
Okay.
And we got a couple big names to add to that coming up.
Well, and the goal is to try and get to every.
Goal is to try to get everybody.
Yeah.
You know, so we got a couple names left, but trying to get them all.
It's hard to nail these guys down, isn't it?
It
like
is,
53 players on a roster
Yeah, it's
is
tough.
tough.
Just not only their notoriety, but just connecting in general with anybody. People have schedules, people have obligations. So each time we do it, it comes together well, but it takes time to develop and put it together. So
what's on canvas here? What do you have on the?
So this was one of my favorite projects from this past season's playoff run.
Here, I'll hold it up while you, because it's pretty big. Oh my
Yep.
God, this is awesome. All right, that's the Saquon.
That is the Saquon. The title for it is House Call.
See that? Get that right there.
So I was actually
That thing.
I was actually at that game, and at many games this past season that gave me extra inspiration for a lot of the pieces I made, and this one for sure was maybe still my favorite moment of the season aside from the Super Bowl win.
Heck yeah.
And just being there, hearing how loud the link was, the loudest I've ever experienced it, honestly.
Ridiculous.
With the snow falling on you,
Yep.
just like him hitting his head, just everything that went into it, it was amazing. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, man, I have to recreate that moment.
When you showed him that, what was his reaction?
He loved it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was cool to be able to see his reaction and just talk about the art and his actually. There's a company that collects stuff throughout the season and resells it.
Yeah.
So the company is called The Realist, and they were collecting grass from each game, from that actual game, from the field, from the end zone.
Yeah.
I took some of the grass and I infused it on the canvas for him to really make it authentic.
Yeah.
And just talk through that. So it was cool to get his reaction and see what he thought.
The Eagles were like selling snow from that game for like $50 a
that
pop.
specific game. I know a couple people that bought it too.
Really? They still have it in their freezer? What do you do with that? You make like a cocktail out of it the next time.
I think it's more just the fun behind it of, I bought snow from the game, but like,
of course.
Yeah, it's snow.
All right, so what else are you working on after this? Anything cool?
So coming up, we got really the two most prevalent projects are Devontae Smith. We have a huge project dropping with him. This is actually the packaging for it.
Okay.
So the box is really cool. It actually slides out.
That's awesome.
And it has the dagger written in there, which if you're an Eagles fan, you know what the dagger is.
The huge catch in the Super Bowl, right?
Yep. So this was a big project I put together with Devontae and his team, and I've just had a great relationship with him ever since he came to the Eagles because he actually has 3 paintings of mine hanging in his house.
Wow, that's
great. And it's just been cool to build that relationship and now be able to get to this point of doing this project. So this is going to release actually Thursday next week, the 26th.
Okay.
2 days before his celebrity softball game up in Lehigh Valley at Iron Pig Stadium. So
very cool.
We'll have it for sale on the website and at the game too. We'll have a huge pop-up there.
Gallen of Questions is the name of the show. So there's questions in here. Would you like to pick a few out and see if we can answer them? All right, let's give it a shot here.
Give me a good
Everyone
one.
gets a can of questions.
Open it now.
Yeah, open her up. See what we got.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Of all
Ask
the
me.
legends you've collaborated with, who gave the best reaction to your work? There's been a lot of good reactions. Man, Saquon's was pretty cool.
Yeah. How about BG? BG seems like a pretty excitable guy.
BG loves everything that I do. So
that's good.
He always gives a great reaction. I think one that sticks out because you don't get as exciting a reaction is from Brian Dawkins when I first showed him the trading card we did of him and unveiled the art to him. Like the look on his face and his reaction, he was like pretty loud and
no tears because he'll cry pretty easily. There were no tears for that one.
No tears for that
next
one.
time.
Yeah, we need to get a tear jerker.
That's a great
soon.
one.
Allen Iverson's another good one too. He might have teared up a little bit.
Yeah?
She's laughing.
Is that true? A little tear?
He's
I will cry
he's
too.
Super emotional, yeah.
All right, non-sports related, or maybe it is sports, but last binge-watched TV show, Jordan. What was it for you?
You know what? I'm a big Star Wars nerd.
Okay.
And a new one came out, the second season of Andor.
Okay.
So I love all their little mini-series they're doing on the Disney Channel.
Cruise through that. Nice. All right. Favorite flavor of Gatorade? Go-to.
Man, I honestly haven't drank Gatorade
Really?
in a long time.
I feel like everybody's got a favorite flavor, though.
I do like the baby blue.
Okay.
I don't know the name of it, but
Baby blue. That's this should be just called the baby blue. Most memorable sports moment playing or watching.
wow. Well, I have to go with most memorable watching is definitely the Super Bowl win.
Yeah.
Because we were there in
Yep.
person, got
Yep.
to watch it. That was surreal. Yeah.
Anything playing from your playing career stand out?
Oh man, there was some awesome touchdowns I had that I can remember vividly. Yeah, I can't think of one specific.
Okay,
but
some
just
good moments though.
touchdowns in general.
I don't know if you're a jersey. Are you a jersey wearer? Do you enjoy wearing like jerseys?
I have a lot of jerseys
Okay,
that
you
I
have.
don't wear.
If you could
which I should.
only own one throwback jersey, which one would it be?
Dawkins,
The
Easy.
Dawkins.
B-Doc.
That is your guy through and through. I should have known that would be the answer. All right, let's see how many we can get here in the next few seconds. What's the piece of artwork? Oh, you already answered this. That took the longest to finish.
The Eagles' legacy, 2 years.
2 years.
2 years.
That's ridiculous. All right, beach or mountains?
I'm gonna go beach.
Beach. All right, we got 2 more. I think we can do it. Unless I can't open the thing. Coffee, tea, soda, other. Big coffee guy?
Not too much though.
That's
Just
good.
1 cup a day.
Really? 1 cup?
Costa Rican.
Everyone
coffee.
else that comes in here is like, I drink like 4. One guy was like, I drink 15 cups a day. That was the head coach of Villanova. Last one. Who's your favorite underrated athlete? Who do you think deserves more love?
Underrated.
Who deserves more love? Maybe
I feel like
than
Devontae Smith is still underrated.
think I agree
doesn't
with
get
you on
enough
that
love.
one.
I mean, it makes sense too because there's so many stars on the Eagles, but
Yeah.
like he's debatably a top 10 receiver
Sure.
as well. And how do we have 2 of those on our team? It's crazy, but I think he doesn't get enough attention.
Jordan, your stuff is fantastic. Thank you so much for coming in and showing it off, man. You're the best.
Appreciate you, man.